So we looked at various options for including user data, and we decided not to add fields to the users, but instead to create a content type and then connect it to the user via a reference field, something we haven't talked about yet. First, let's look at the data that we have in our step file. So I'm going to open up the 7th step, staff-data.csv. I'll open it up in Google Sheets. So it looks like we have columns for first name, last name, position, bio, and email. This means that as we model the data for our content type, the fields should line up with these columns. Let's create that content type. I'm going to go back to our site and go to Structure, Content Types, Add Content Type, and we'll call this Staff. For the description, we'll put in users who work at Magnificent. And for the title label, we have a bit of a choice to make. In the spreadsheet, the users' names are split between first name and last name, and it would make sense to use one or the other, or both, for the title. If we used both, it would mean that we would need to add 2 additional fields for the first name and the last name in order to separate them out and be able to use them separately. If we only use the first name, then we might run into conflicts if we have additional staff members later that have the same first name. Same with the last name. The ideal situation would be one where we could have a field for first name and a field for last name, and have those two joined together so the first and last name automatically for the title. There's a module being developed for Drupal 8 that will allow us to do that and avoid having to enter data 2 times. The module is called Automatic Entity Label, and it works well for Drupal 7, but it's not quite ready for Drupal 8 at the time of this recording. But if in the future you have a situation where you have multiple fields that you want to join together in some way to create the title for an entity, whether it's a node, a user, or other entities that we explore throughout this series, Automatic Entity Label would be the module that you'd want to look at to achieve that. Since that module is not quite ready yet, what we'll do is create fields for the first and last name, and then copy that data into the title field. So as we're adding the content type, for the title, let's put full name. For publishing options, let's set this to published but not promoted to front page. Display options, we don't need to display the author and date information. For menu options, I don't anticipate us adding individuals to the menus, so we'll uncheck that and click Save and Manage Fields. For the staff, the body is actually a bio, so let's edit this and change the label to bio and save it. And now let's add fields for first name and last name. We'll use a plain text field, a short one. Save field settings, save field settings. We'll add a new field. Again, text plain. Last name, save field settings, save field settings. If we go back to our staff data, the other 2 fields that we need to cover are position and email. For email, we're going to store that in the user account instead of this content type, so we'll leave that be for right now.